Her father stares as her screams cut through the air. When a moor ranger and her friend reach the tent, she dials for help, but the line answers with distorted voices. He keeps staring as his daughter slips into a trance. Children's voices fill the air, and one man recognizes his child's voice. She collapses, eyes turning bloodshot red. Then she begins to growl, causing everyone to flee in fear. A young girl named Claire persuades her school friend, Dany, to help her steal sweets from a small shop. She tells him to distract the shopkeeper while she sneaks behind the counter. Dany hesitates, but eventually agrees. While he keeps the shopkeeper busy, she quickly grabs some sweets and stuffs them in her bag. As she heads for the exit, the door suddenly opens and another man steps inside. Claire freezes for a split second, panics, and bolts straight out of the shop while looking back to check if she's being followed. She waits for a bit, expecting Dany to show up, but when he doesn't, she starts to feel uneasy. After some time passes, she walks back to the shop and asks the shopkeeper where Dany is. When the shopkeeper tells her that Dany's father had come to pick him up, the response doesn't sit right with her, and she immediately suspects that something is wrong. Soon after, posters of missing children appear all over town, and Dany's face is on one of them. 25 years later, Claire, now grown up, is approached by Bill, Dany's father, who has never stopped searching for his son. He asks her to use her podcast to document the search and bring attention back to the case. At first, she refuses, but Bill's persistence eventually changes her mind. That evening, they meet Liz, a moor ranger who agrees to guide them through the area. Later, Claire begins recording interviews, starting with the townspeople who still remember the disappearances clearly, and then Thornley, the former police chief who led the disappearance of children years ago. Thornley explains how the police fruitlessly searched specific parts of the moor based on the evidence they had at the time. The next morning, she asks him to show her exactly where the searches were conducted. As he points it out, she realizes that Bill has been searching in areas far removed from where the police ever looked. Thornley spreads out some maps and explains that Bill's search zones don't align with the original investigation. That night, Claire overhears a strange man pointing at a circled area and talking about a specific location on the moor with Bill. She walks in to ask Bill who the man is, but he waves her question off. Claire struggles to sleep for the rest of the night as her mind keeps circling the moor. The following day, Liz drives Claire and Bill deeper into the moor to continue their search. As they search the area, Claire accidentally slips into a peat bog, but Bill quickly pulls her out. She notices a ram watching them from a distance. Continuing onward, she sees Bill glancing at a circled spot on his map and two other rams staring at them from afar. Later, Liz spots another peat bog. After they walk past it, Claire wanders away from the group and enters a marshy area. In the marsh, she finds a single shoe in the mud. Just as she's about to touch it, Bill stops her and immediately collects it, convinced it could be Dany's shoes.
Don't touch it.
On their way back, Claire starts to feel discomfort creep into her body. Soon, she becomes overwhelmed by the fog and panics, convinced they are lost. Despite Liz reassuring her, she runs blindly through the fog until she reaches a highway. Later, Bill brings the shoe to the police station for analysis, only to find out that the shoe doesn't belong to Dany. The next day, Claire interviews Thornley again, along with the townspeople, to discuss how they feel about the news protecting the suspect's face during his trial, and if a 25-year-long sentence is enough justice for the missing children case. Soon after, while Claire is in the moor, she sees a vision of Dany standing in the middle of the road and goes towards it. She wakes up and realizes it was a nightmare.
Dany! Dany!
She goes to the living room to clear her head. She then sees Bill, who oddly tells her to keep an open mind. The next morning, he introduces her to Alex, the man she overheard earlier. Alex explains to her that he uses Dany's old toy and a pendulum to trace his location. Claire looks at Bill for further explanation, so he points out that Alex's intel was good enough to pinpoint the lost shoe. He then asks him to show her how the process works, only for him to inform Bill that he has reached his limit and can no longer help. Bill suggests involving someone else to help, but Alex firmly refuses. While Bill and Alex are arguing over the matter, Claire welcomes a young girl into the house. The girl turns out to be Alex's daughter, Eleanor. While she pulls her father aside to speak privately, Claire asks Bill why he isn't worried about Alex scamming him. He responds that Alex is angry because Eleanor had some issues the first time she tried to help him many years ago. Later on, they all gather around a table to watch Eleanor attempt a locating ritual. At first, nothing happens, but when she touches the shoe, the pendulum suddenly moves on its own and points to a clear location. Bill immediately circles the location while Alex breaks his daughter from her trance.
5, 9, 2.
That night, Bill and Claire discuss how impossible it would be to reach the location and come back in one day. Against her father's wishes, Eleanor insists on joining them to speed up the search. At dawn, they begin the drive to the moor. During the drive, Claire learns that Eleanor is a math major and discovers that the only way to snap her back from her trance is by reciting math figures. They reach the moor, and while they search the area, Alex tells Claire about his daughter's abilities. When the group stops to rest, she sits beside Eleanor for small talk. When Eleanor tries to tell her that the land feels hostile, she dismisses the comment. Later, Eleanor claims they've arrived at the exact location. She stares into the fog and begins speaking as if addressing the shoe's owner, saying they've come to help her rest. She describes the only memory the lost child has as darkness and asks the child to show her their hiding place.
You don't need to hide. We're here to help you.
Suddenly, Eleanor runs into the fog. Bill chases her and finds her fallen into a ditch. Instead of checking on her condition, he asks if she senses the area. Alex pushes him off her and tries to snap her out of her trance. While she recovers,
Ellie. Ellie.
9, 7, 9.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Bill digs frantically until he sees a skull buried in the soil. Claire wakes up from a nightmare. For weeks later, she speaks with her therapist about her recurrent bad dreams and how Bill's uneasiness is getting to her. She talks about the skull, which is confirmed to belong to one of the missing children, and how she believes finding one of them means Dany is still out there. She also admits that, deep down, she doesn't want to continue the search. Later on, Eleanor reveals that she has a connection to the underworld. She then offers to contact Thomas, her spiritual intermediary. Through a ritual, Thomas reveals the exact location to find Dany. Even though the process leaves Eleanor drained, Bill insists they leave immediately. When Alex protests, Bill storms off. Claire tries to argue that Dany must be lonely and in need of help, but Eleanor corrects her that he definitely isn't alone. At dawn, they head to the new location and find a stone with a strange symbol carved into it. Unable to understand the symbol, they decide to move on. Soon enough, the rain forces them to set up a tent. Inside, when Eleanor complains that Thomas feels uncomfortable, Claire mentions that the place has a familiar feeling to it. The group tries to liven up their predicament, but Bill snaps and storms out. Outside, he sees a vision of a child he believes is Dany and follows it into a marsh. He struggles in the mash until Liz pulls him out and realizes they are lost.
Someone there.
Oi, wait!
Back in the tent, when Alex leaves to get some fresh air, Eleanor asks Claire what is between her and Bill. She responds that she feels gratitude towards Bill because he never blamed her for Dany's disappearance. When Eleanor tries to warn her about something coming for her, a noise interrupts her. Alex bursts in, and Eleanor suddenly starts crying about Thomas leaving her. She screams loud enough for Liz and Bill to hear. When Liz gets to the tent, she tries calling for help, but only hears distorted voices. While Eleanor goes into a trance, children's voices echo through the moor, and Bill recognizes Dany's among them. Eleanor falls backward, and while Alex stares creepily, her eyes begin to turn red. She growls, and everyone flees except her father. When her screams indicate the end of the trance, Claire and the others rush into the tent to check her. They then realize Alex is nowhere to be found. Alex mysteriously appears, accusing Bill of abandoning them. Soon, they notice eyeless rams surrounding them. By morning, Liz realizes that the rams have been replaced by carved pillars. Later, while Eleanor is in intensive care, the police investigate the moor. That night, Liz quits the search, and Claire learns that the original culprit has escaped jurisdiction. Claire notices someone behind her door and decides it's time to leave everything behind. While recording her podcast, a memory of Bill forcing her back into the moor resurfaces. She recalls seeing a ram run into a pillar till it lost its life. Bill reveals that voices told him Dany was sacrificed and promised his return if Claire was offered instead. She refuses, but Bill shoots at her and runs away. She tries to follow him, but she falls into a marsh. In the marsh, strange figures reach for her as she watches Bill embrace a child in the distance. After 25 years of searching, Bill chooses to sacrifice Claire to get Dany back. Do you think the child he recovered is Dany? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Until next time, guys, peace out.